I just want to pick back up and make sure that we've covered limiting factors thoroughly. It was covered very, very quickly at the end of the last video, so I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that. It is a limiting factor is anything that controls the growth and survival of a population, and it's no surprise. It doesn't matter what the population is. Let's say we're talking about the population of gazelles in the savannah. It is not a surprise if I say to you that sunlight, temperature, water, the type of soil has a huge influence on the growth and survival of the gazelles. If it's too hot, if it's too cold, the gazelles can't survive. If there's not enough sun or too much sun, the gazelles cannot survive. If there's not enough water or too much water, the gazelles cannot survive. If the soil composition is really, really bad, the gazelles cannot survive. It's no surprise that that is a limiting factor, that controls the growth and survival of a population. However, one overlooked aspect of limiting factors is it can also include biotic factors. Living things can also influence how a population survives. For example, if there's a giant influx of predators, meaning a lot of predators move into the area, maybe 3 prides of lions move into the area, the gazelles that controls the growth and survival of that population. They could possibly even get wiped out if enough lions moved into the area. So that could be something. If too many more gazelles moved into that area, all of a sudden now they're all competing for the same resources, the water, the grass, the shelter. If too many gazelles move in, we already know that because of carrying capacity, the savanna can only hold so much. We know that having too many of the same species could be a limiting factor. Anything that you can throw into the mix that might change and control the growth and survival of a population is going to be considered a limiting factor. I want to go over these terms really quickly. I mean, they're going to be on the quiz, sure. They're going to be on a test, probably. Those 1 or 2 of these might show up on an EOG, absolutely. Do we need to spend 5 days on it? Probably not. Food chains and food webs are I'll say they're more important. It's not that there's more important. Food chains and food webs are more likely to show up more often on a test because I don't want to put that any of these are not important, because it is important. Threatened species, okay? Because you have these words and they all sound very similar. Threatened species. Now, I like the definition of this because it tells me one thing that it most definitely is not. And the definition of a threatened species says a species that is in danger of becoming endangered. So you already know right there, you know that it's not endangered. It's in danger of becoming endangered, but it's not endangered yet. It's threatened. It means it's on its way to being endangered. So when I see this one, I think it's very easy. I think extinct is the easiest definition. Extinct means they're all gone. We know what that means. Okay, so now you've got these 2 new words, threatened and endangered. If I am in danger of becoming endangered, I cannot be endangered. It says the word right here. I don't know of many definitions that actually put the actual vocabulary word in the definition too. So when you see this, in danger of becoming endangered, you know it can't be endangered. You already know it's not extinct. So it's that other word that we're not too familiar with, and that is threatened. Now the snow leopard here is a threatened species. What does that mean? That means it's in danger of becoming endangered. So on a list of you need to really start worrying about things. The snow leopard's a little further down. I'm not super worried about the snow leopard yet. Now I want to go ahead and start working on things to make sure that they don't become endangered. But there are other animals that are closer to becoming extinct than a snow leopard. It's not to say that threatened is where you want to be. You don't want to be on any of these lists. You just want to be like deer in North Carolina. Tons of them. Okay, and if 50 die in one day, it really doesn't affect anything. If 50 snow leopards died, they would probably be put on the endangered list because we can't lose that many. I mean, they are in serious trouble, but it's not as bad as the next step. endangered species. Now, this one is in danger of becoming extinct. This is like one more step and there won't be any more of them, okay? And so when I think that there's one more step before there's no other of them, I start to think, man, there's a lot of danger going on, okay? It's very dangerous for the Amur snow leopard, because if we lose too many more of them, there won't be any more. We can't do anything about that to help them at that point. They won't be around anymore. They will be extinct. Now, I like this one as well because it uses the word extinct in the definition. I know that it's not extinct when I see this one. Now, it's in danger of becoming extinct. So when I look at the other definition, in danger of becoming endangered, well, I know that that's threatened. If my next step is extinct, I am endangered. I am in danger of becoming extinct. I am in danger of becoming extinct. That's what endangered species are. And there's a giant list of endangered species. You'll get a chance to take a look at that on your own when you're going through the slides. And I think that's here. Extinct. That means they're not in danger of doing anything. They are gone. They have completely died out. In 2011, the western rhino was declared extinct. That means there are no more of them. If there's something that's extinct, there are no more of them. They're not in danger of doing anything. They're gone. Extinct is the worst of the 3 levels. So you could think of it, if threatened is pretty bad. Endangered, oh my goodness, things are getting very dangerous. Extinct, it's over. We did not do enough to save this specific species. And that's always sad because we know that every species has a very specific niche in an ecosystem. And when that niche is not fulfilled, when that job is not done, it greatly affects the ecosystem. So you really have to think about how does that change each individual ecosystem when we have animals that are going extinct. And we'll talk about keystone species pretty soon and why those cannot be lost. If we lose a keystone species, that ecosystem is in great, great trouble. And here are some lists. You can go through this on your own. The link is down here of endangered, vulnerable, and threatened animals. And extinct animals are probably in there as well. And I think you would enjoy that. So that's a very quick look at extinct, at endangered, and go back a little bit more here, and threatened. They are easy to get mixed up. But just remember, this one literally has the word endangered in the definition. It can't be endangered, and you know extinct is the worst, so the only other one is threatened. This one has the word extinct, so it means it's very close to being extinct. It is in danger of going extinct, so it is endangered. And then we also know that extinct means there are no more of them.